Oh, okay, all right.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Grothman, is recognized.
I thought you not sitting in the chair, you weren't.
Is this on? I guess it is. Okay, Mr. Spitalnik, the Medicare trustees report states that the hospital insurance trust fund expenditures will rise faster than income in the next decades. Can you explain reasons why expenditures are going up quicker than income? Then I'm going to give you a question I don't know that you're qualified to answer.
Sure. There's several reasons why expenditures out of the HI Trust Fund are growing faster than the income. My colleague, Mr. Goss, mentioned a most significant one, and that's the changing demographics. That as the baby boom generation in particular has been retiring, they are moving from the employed paying into the program into beneficiaries receiving benefits from the program. And so that demographic shift is the largest component of why that shift is occurring.
That makes sense, but how much are we spending, say, per 70-year-old, per 72-year-old, whatever? How is the healthcare spending per person going up relative to inflation?
On a per capita basis, spending in the Medicare program has actually been tracking pretty closely to the general inflation rates. So there's been pretty consistent increases in the recent past. In the trustees report, there is projections that those per capita costs will increase at a faster rate in the near future and into the future, mostly because healthcare costs tend to increase faster than other sectors of the economy.
That's exactly what we're trying to get at. So, but there are a few years lately that hasn't been going on, but in general, healthcare costs are going up quicker than in a general inflation rate, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do Medicare costs vary dramatically from one part of the country to the other?
There are certainly regional variations. There are differences in Medicare spending in urban areas versus rural areas, for example. But there are consistencies across areas as well.
Okay. Could you give me some examples, like some states that are low, some states that are high, and the degree to which there's a variance from state to state?
The one that jumps to mind is, in particular, with respect to the Medicare Advantage program, when Medicare rates are set, they're set at a county level. And so, for example, Medicare spending in Miami County is typically higher than in most other parts of the country. So that's just one example.
Give me an example of how much higher, just dollar-wise. I've heard that before. Miami is high.
I'd be happy to give you the follow-up with the details on that.
Is it, do you know, just, is it great? Is it like 5% higher, 25% higher?
It is many percent higher.
Like 25?
I don't want to misspeak, so
Okay,
I'm gonna follow up.
it's not fair. Because you didn't come prepared for that today. I wonder, though, if you do get the answers for the committee, if you could, tell us where we would be at. Could we solve this problem if everybody were at, say, the lower fifth of spending per person on Medicare? Would that be enough to make a real dent in the problem?
There have been theoretical exercises of can you, if payments in the highest county were replaced with payments at the lowest county, would that solve the Medicare problem? I think from a theoretical perspective, that's accurate. From a practical perspective, it's not really all that meaningful.
I don't know, but that's an interesting thing. Okay, we'd love to have that. Mr. Goss, labor force participation rate. Can you tell us what, right now, a lot of people, they retire, and as a result, the restrictions on how much they can make before we begin to reduce the Social Security benefit, right? Where's the cutoff there? 19,000, 20,000? Where do we begin to say you get less money the more you work?
Excellent question. I think it's in the order of between 15 and 20,000. I don't have that exactly at my fingertips, but an important part of that is the reduction from the retirement earnings test only applies for people up to age 67. At 67 and above, where people can receive benefits without any effect. And
Are you sure 67 is, could be higher than that?
well, currently it's 67. It's at the so-called normal or full retirement age where the retirement earnings test stops applying. But the good
Okay.
news is that if anybody receives a reduction in their benefit, if they start receiving benefits before 67, and then they receive a reduced monthly benefit at any point before 67, we will recompute your benefit as of 67 and for thereafter, and take away the reduction for having received benefits
You'll get
in
more
earlier
forever.
months.
Okay, and I would just go on record as saying the idea that the normal retirement age is 70 is crazy.
Gentleman yields. Thank you. Gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Szyszkowski, is recognized for 5 minutes.